Everybody. This is Jim Kurtz with Harmonics. Thank you again for joining us. In today's episode of Ask an Expert, we have a very special guest today. It's Dominic Gerasi. Did I pronounce your name right?
Yes, Jim. Yes.
Right. Good. So Dominic Gerasi with National Business Financing. Is that correct? I apologize.
National Business Capital.
National Business Capital. I apologize. Very unprofessional of me. Sorry about that. But Dominic Gerasi with National Business Capital is on with us today. In today's episode, we really wanted to give all of you guys a little help and a little more insight into some of the non-growing business side. You know, obviously we have the business of growing crops and selling it, but sometimes we have other business matters and other business things. And we wanted to bring Dominic on because he specializes in helping people, businesses of all kinds, find working capital, sometimes non-traditional loans and various things. And so we're going to be discussing that with him. Dominic, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate having you.
Hey, Jim, thanks for having me as well. I love what you guys have going on at Harmonics and happy to be here.
Great. Thank you so much for being here. And, it's farming is one of those kinds of industries that's a little bit challenging. And I think you and I were talking just briefly, sometimes you have, when you plant, you'll have all this input, right? You have an outlay of, seeds and fertilizers and all these things. And it takes 3 months, 6 months, sometimes 9 months to start to get harvest. And then you have to front all those costs and stuff. And your company obviously has a number of solutions that could definitely help farmers if they're running into cash flow problems and that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a ton of different programs, SBA loans, term loans, lines of credit, short-term financing. So there's a lot of different solutions. And, and equipment financing too. A lot of times, farmers, I'm sure, need to buy new pieces of equipment, and we're able to help with that as well.
Awesome. So, tell me, how is your business and how does your company differ from like going to a bank for financing, for example?
So we will always tell a business owner that if bank financing is available, to take bank financing. Bank financing is going to always be your best financing. It's through your bank. It's who holds your checking account. So, we're not the bank, and we always will, tell a person to go to the bank first. But what we do offer is a lot of different programs that are able to be in combination with bank financing. Or if you're not able to get bank financing, we're able to get financing that's very similar to banks. So we help business owners get SBA loans all the time. So the SBA loans are very cheap rates. They're long terms, usually 10 years, unless if you're putting up collateral, it could be 25 years, and very low rates. We also offer a bank term loan. So that is a multi-year term loan with low rates as well. And then we have lines of credit that a lot of times we have secured lines of credit and unsecured lines of credit. And the unsecured lines of credit, a lot of times they work out great for a business owner because they're quick and easy to obtain. And the financing cost is typically about 1% to 2% per month. So as long as your opportunity as a business owner is greater than that 1% to 2% a month, it's kind of easy to afford with good opportunity.
Great. And so if I'm understanding it correctly too, it's in our audience obviously too. There's sometimes some situations where the bank either won't qualify them or they have other types of issues that the bank just basically turns them down or says no, and you're able to sort of have a number of different platforms and programs in your portfolio that allows them to get the financing they need, that may not be directly through the bank. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, Jim. With bank financing, the stat is banks approve about 19% of applicants for business financing. So that really just leaves 80% of business owners to kind of go out there on their own and find the best financing for themselves. So what National Business Capital has done, we built out a great platform over the last 14 years. We have all the best lenders in the country, all in one place on one application. And when you apply with National, you don't get submitted to 75 different lenders. You only get submitted to a couple. But we're going to do kind of the shopping for you, and make sure you're going to the right place and taking that question out of it for you. And then as far as reputation, National is the top rated company for alternative financing on Trustpilot. We're rated number 1 in 4 out of the 6 categories that we're listed in. So, and we have a perfect 5.0 with about 1,000 reviews. So we're really good at what we do. We've been around a really long time, and we have all the best programs for a business owner. So it's just a matter of, a lot of times different programs make different sense depending on the business owner's opportunity. If you're buying a piece of equipment, you're probably looking for a 5-year term on that piece of equipment. But if you're looking to maybe use financing just to pay for labor, that might only be a short-term thing where maybe you use a line of credit for 3 months and then pay it off once you sell the crop. So every business owner has different opportunities, and that's why we have really good people here that always take the time to understand how the money's going to be used ultimately, and then we start talking to you about the different programs that would make sense.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, I know there's I'm not going to mention their names, but I know there's online sites where you put your application in, and then you start sending them to all these different banks and other lenders, and the next thing you know, you have all this spam and everything from all these different lenders that you never even talked to. And but you're also adding a service, which is very important too, because you are the experts. You actually know, you actually know what the needs are. You're providing that service of what all of your lenders need and want, and so you're able to look at the application and say, okay, this program is going to work, and that one maybe not so well, and you're going to be able to counsel and coach them through what's going to work best for their business and their situation.
Yeah, and that's what separates us from our competition, is that a lot of our competition has went completely automated and taken that personal touch out of the equation. And we have chosen not to do that. Obviously, we have all the technology that we could ever want, and we could have more if we chose to. But that's really a personal touch. And if you take the personal touch out of that portion, now you're going to get submitted and applied to programs that probably don't make sense. So if we take the time to make sure we understand how the money is going to be used, because ultimately that's the route that we should go is based on the business owner's actual opportunity, not just some profile that a computer spit out.
Yeah, that's good, and I'm sure that also helps make those loans much more successful for both you and the business owner, so that we know that there's less chance of default or other problems because you've taken the time to make sure that they're in the right situation.
Absolutely.
Well, I have a couple of questions here from our audience here. One is from Lisa. She asks, do you require a certain credit score, and do you do finances for new businesses as well?
So that's a great question. Thank you, Lisa, for the question. For the credit score, some of the top tier programs do require a higher credit score. So if you're looking to get into like an SBA loan, there is a 680 minimum credit score on that, as well as our business term loan does have a similar credit score requirement of about 680 to a 700, depending on the time in business. So for bank style financing that we offer, we do have credit requirements just like going to the bank. But then when you step out of the bank style financing and you go to the alternative lenders look at the health of a business much more than they look at a business owner's credit score. So they're looking at time in business, how long the business has been around, what are your average revenues, maybe how much inventory you have on hand, different things like that. Not as much such a credit score driven approval like most financing in this country, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other question she had was, do you guys do financing for new businesses as well? Or is there a certain type of track record they need to have?
Yeah. So if you're an existing business owner and you're acquiring another business, there's a lot more options for you out there than if you are just new to business and going into business. If you're strictly new to business and just going into business for the first time, the one program that we do offer for that is the SBA loan. But the SBA loans are rather hard to obtain when it comes to new business financing. So you're going to have to really have really strong credit, a great personal FICO score, and some real industry experience. That is what the SBA is looking for. It's government money. It's cheap rates, long terms, but they are very stringent on their requirements. So you do have to fit into those SBA guidelines to qualify. But we do offer it. But it's just being very transparent. It's not the easiest thing to do because the SBA is a little tough when it comes to new business financing.
Absolutely, and that's a good point. And then Carr, let me go back here, had a question as well. Let's see what Carr says here. Are there any plans that offer a 0% APR?
Great question. Thank you, Carr. As far as a 0% APR, the only real program that you would find a 0% APR is typically a credit card. Sometimes, if there's some kind of equipment or a piece of collateral that a business is, or car dealerships or sometimes equipment vendors might be doing a special promo to give 0 APR because they want to move inventory. But the only thing in the country that really truly offers a 0% APR is typically a credit card. And there are business credit cards out there that offer 0% APR, and typically they're about for 12 months.
Yeah, you get like a certain grace period, and then they start charging you 60 million %.
Right.
Or 20, usually 20 to 20, 25,
0% for 12 months and then 25% after that. And ultimately the credit cards just hoping you don't pay them back, and they they can kind of blend that rate and get 12% a year, really. Right,
exactly. So what just I know you have an app on your website. We have your website there, nationalbusinesscapital.com. So if you guys are looking for credit, you can definitely go to their website and fill out their application. Just so they know, like what kinds of information do you typically look for in terms of like credit score. I mean, we've kind of talked about that a little bit, but like what kinds of information and collateral, do you typically have collateral, or is that really just depend on the loan?
So that's very loan specific. So typically collateral is not looked at unless we're going for an SBA loan that's about 25-year, the 25-year SBA, and a business owner is looking to pledge a piece of property to do an SBA loan, which is more kind of like almost like more like a mortgage. So we do those, but typically collateral is not what an underwriter is looking at, unless we're doing an asset-based line of credit. So what an underwriter is looking at, they're looking for time in business. So, a minimum of 1 year time in business. And then they're looking at revenues for the business to be at least, $250,000 for annually. And then, for farms, the underwriting teams do understand that farms are seasonal, where some months you may have really strong deposits and other months you're growing. And then you're selling. So what we look for from anytime we are financing a farm, we do look for 12 months of bank statements, so that an underwriter can see the full picture and understand what goes on a yearly basis. Because sometimes a 3 or 6 month snapshot doesn't really depict what the business really does, depending on what season you're in.
Yeah, and farming obviously is a very seasonal business because, they have their season and then they harvest, and then, 6-8 months, it's basically not till next year. So they have to pay their bills off and then, write it out for the next year before they're ready to have that again. So you're right. Again, it's not a cookie cutter type of a situation. And that's what we like about you, and why we wanted to partner with you, because we have a lot of customers and potential customers that are really interested in our technology, what we're doing in our equipment. And, but sometimes depending on the situation or time of year, they don't necessarily have that capital to drop on it. So, having resources such as yourself at your company and National is really going to help them utilize our technology to build their crops, but also not go bankrupt in the process as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Great. And then I think we kind of touched on it. I'm going to put here on the caption. I just want to put to apply. If you guys are watching this, if you guys want to apply, we have a link here. It's apply.nationalbusinesscapital.com /partner. And then there's a reference number here. We're going to have that in the show notes as well, guys. So If you're watching this, you can write it down, obviously, and go to their website, fill out an application, or you can also just stay tuned for the show notes. We should have that, so you can just click on the link and do an application. Dominic, is there anything else that you really want either our audience or our customers or potential customers to know in terms of your process and what they should know and what they should be expecting?
No, I just maybe just to reiterate, National Business Capital, we've been around a long time. We're as trustworthy as can be. The reputation is out there. We're the top-rated company on a lot of different review sites, and we just take pride in helping people. Our motto is helping business owners grow. I know it lines up really good with Harvest Harmonics because you're helping people grow better crops, right? But our motto is just to help business owners grow. We love taking a business to the next level, teaching them where to get the best financing from, sticking with them throughout the years, and just always keeping, some business owners start with not the best financing because they don't have the best profile, and then they keep graduating into much better, and then into a bank loan. So sometimes it's a graduation into the better financings when it comes to business. Not right out the gate. You don't have always the requirements. So we'll walk you through the process. We love to help business owners just get to that next level and grow their business. And ultimately, we're just trying to fuel the economy. We're trying to help everybody regrow after what we've all just really been through.
Yeah, COVID's been a crazy year for everybody, obviously. But we've talked to a number of farmers that had their entire distribution chain just disappeared because the restaurants weren't open, and a lot of these places where their main distribution channel just disappeared. And obviously, people need that time and need that energy, and sometimes they need that financing to get back on their feet and get rolling again. Yeah,
absolutely. And we here at National, we have an interesting view of the country, because we do work with the whole entire country, and we are seeing most businesses are really getting past COVID, and they are, there's opportunity out there after COVID. Restaurants are going back to full capacity. So, I know that's great for the farms, because once restaurants are back to full capacity, hotels are back at full capacity. A lot of those products go to those, venues to be sold to the public. So, we are like right there. So that's a good thing.
Absolutely. And another couple things. Carr says, thank you for the clarification. No problem, Carr. And then, just basically, thank you so much for the comments, guys. And really, I just wanted to wrap this up, I think, guys. And just obviously, Dominic, thank you so much for joining us here. I know, as I said before, our mission is to help farmers grow healthier food and increase their profit margin. But sometimes, whether it's our product or not, sometimes, there's other business challenges, and we really appreciate you coming on and joining us and being another point of help for the farmers and for everybody to be able to get that engine going so that we can all expand.
Yes, thanks for having me. Like I said, Jim, love what you guys have going on over there. I think it's amazing. Improving the crops and profit margins by just a simple little tweak where you're really sound waves and changing it. It's just so cool. It's so awesome. I love it. And I would love to help finance some of your customers that maybe can't afford to do the whole farm, and they're starting with a portion of the farm. Where if it makes a ton of sense, let's just finance it and get it going, right? So, if we can help in any way, I'd love to help get more farms using your product, because it sounds amazing.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, we're real excited about it. And guys, as I mentioned before, if you guys are looking for credit or want to explore this option, or just want to talk to Dominic and see what your options are in terms of financing, you can go to, you can actually fill out the application at apply.nationalbusinesscapital.com/partner/ref equals 95-133. And we'll have that link again on the show notes here after this broadcast as well. Go there, fill out the application. I'm sure Dominic or one of his team will reach out to you and go over and consult with you in terms of finding you the best opportunities available. So Dominic, thank you so much for joining us again. I really appreciate having you. Hopefully we'll be doing a lot of business together, and we'll be able to have another episode in the future. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks for having me. Goodbye, everyone.
All right. Bye, guys. We appreciate it. And stay tuned for next week. We have Ask a Farmer on Tuesdays. We have one of our special farmers who's actually growing food to help needy people eat healthier food. That's on Tuesday. And next week's Ask an Expert, we have a tax specialist who's going to be showing you how you can get tax credits on your farm and save a lot of money that way. Dominic, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. We will talk again soon.